Okay, folks, so good morning and welcome to week 3 of our November series, Time to Breathe. So you may have kind of been following sort of week by week what the themes are, and they may have now come a little bit kind of background, which is fine because we've moved through themes. So the kind of general focus for this series is kind of how do we have this ability to kind of open up, see bigger perspectives, which we had on the first week, or look at things from a different perspective than we might normally do. How are we interconnected both to other people and the world? We're using particularly trees, the breathing in, the breathing out relationship. This week we're looking at the sense of awe. Yeah, so it can sound a very grand word. But we often, if we just look back, we might be surprised how many times during our week we kind of almost take a breath in or almost just kind of go, wow, even in a small way to what we see around us. And particularly November and the sort of autumn period has lots of potential wow moments, even in the rain. It does. And the wind. And so that's part of the experience. So that's what we're going to dip our toe in when we get to the meditation stage. So you can kind of have that flowing vaguely through the back of your mind. We're going to do the breathing because, again, as we travel through seasons, some of you have experienced it already, colds and just picking up things. It's a really easy time to get respiratory issues anyway. So breathing and focusing on our breath when we can breathe reasonably okay is a really positive connecting thing to do and a healthy thing to do. So we're going to go through a longer phase for the breathing session. So finding your space now. So getting into whatever that might mean for you. And that space might mean just being able to sit well, or you might need to prepare and move, you might need to yawn, you might need to get a tissue, you might just need to get something to feel a little bit warmer. So getting that preparation sorted and then finding your seat, whether you're sitting on the ground or whether you're sitting on a chair. And from that point, just being aware of what's happening with your back and your spine. So if you feel sort of focus on your bottom and that connection to the ground or the seat, and then just have a sense of the spine kind of rising from the seat all the way up to the crown of the head. So you may be still leaning against the support of the chair, but you have this sense of that upright connecting structure up into the sky. So you can overdo that and end up not being able to breathe and kind of be shoulders too high. So once you kind of have that sense, then just allow the shoulders to relax, the eyes, the face, the jaw to relax. Close your eyes if you want to, or just lower your gaze so that you're not too distracted on what's going on in your outer world, so you can make a deeper connection. So once you've got that sense, the bottom on the chair or the floor, spine rising from the seat, and a sense of relaxation in the hands, the face, the jaw, and the shoulders. Then we're going to just focus on the breath as the starting point. So coming to the breath how it is. So the breath might be very conscious. It might be a bit raggedy at this time of morning, just kind of, it's kind of not very present, or it's a bit changeable. So just noticing how it is at this time for you and how you can experience the breath. So we can experience the breath through connecting to it in different ways in different parts of the body. So just finding that way, if it's the belly, the torso, the nose. If you can breathe just through the nostrils, that's great. But if that means that you struggle to breathe, then obviously breathe through the mouth and the nose. And notice how the breath fills the body. Amazing thing in itself. And notice how the breath leaves the body. So there's that exchange going on of breath coming in from the outside to the inside, and breath leaving the inside and going back to the outside. Which is just purely amazing. It happens whether we think about it or not. It happens whether we're present to it or not. But when we're present to it, then we can just be more kind of at a different level of focus, even if that focus comes and goes. We can be more body aware, we can be more present. We can allow ourselves to be breathed as the breath take its natural course. So just for a moment, being interested in the length of the breath, not that it matters, but just being interested in what the count would be for the in-breath, what the count would be for the out-breath. That's just judging the length by a count of 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, or whatever that might be. And that might bring us closer to the breath. It might make us more aware of the breath moment by moment. So if we feel we want a little bit more energy or alertness, we just see if we can lengthen the in-breath a little bit by 1 count maybe, or 2. If we feel we kind of just would like to just relax a little bit more into the moment, then we focus on the out-breath a little bit more. So you might want to count a little bit longer on the out-breath. If you just like this sort of balance between the in-breath and the out-breath, then you just keep them as it is, or make them equal length. Yeah, so you've got some choices there over the next few breaths. Bring more breath in, to allow more breath out, to have the in-breath and the out-breath in balance. Okay, so we can drop the counts. Just allow the breath to be for a moment. So we'll be moving on then to our alternate nostril breathing to get that balance, to get a greater sense of connection with the nostril breathing, with the space in the cavity, and to bring balance to the right side and the left side of the brain, to give us maximum opportunity to be able to use and make choices and live through that more alive sense and connection. So to start off with, we will just open one side of the nostril and then the other side of the nostril. So if you take your thumb to close down the right side of the nostril, the right nostril in fact, if you're able to keep the mouth closed, do, if you can be comfortable, and just breathing in and out now through the left nostril. So you'll get a greater clarity of the air moving in and out through the body. Maybe with a greater force. maybe with a stronger sensation. So next time you breathe out, just release the hold on the right nostril and breathe through both nostrils for a moment. Feel that sense of greater contact around the nostril area, so you'll be really alert to the feelings of the breath in both nostrils now. And then for a moment, we'll close down the left nostril, so you can use the thumb of the left hand to just give that a gentle pressure. So that can mean that just the right nostril has the space for the breath. And just see how it feels, that warm air and cold air coming through the right nostril. So the length of the breath will normally change when we restrict one side of the breath, one side of the nostril. We'll normally slow it down a little bit. So it's getting used to that feeling that it's okay. In fact, it can be quite pleasant. So again, after the next out breath, then just take away the thumb so you can breathe through both nostrils, let the shoulders relax. Feel the sensation of the breath coming in maybe more fully through both nostrils. Again, the warmth or the cold around the nostrils. Okay, so the final stage, if you like, of our breathing practice, we're going to use a more traditional fingering, if you like. So we're going to use I've got my right hand, so I'm going to use the thumb against the right nostril and the ring finger against the left nostril. So you're kind of moving the fingers from side to side. So from here, just gently having those fingers just resting against the nostrils without any pressure. Just so you can find a happy place for shoulder and for the elbow. And then close down the right nostril. Breathe in through the left nostril. Close down the left nostril to breathe out through the right nostril. You'll breathe in through the right nostril, close the right nostril to breathe out through the left nostril, and that's one round. So continuing that by breathing in through the left nostril, close the left nostril to breathe out through the right. You breathe in through the right, close the right nostril to breathe out through the left. So see if you can continue that on your own. If you kind of just lose that sense, then just go to using the thumbs and either just concentrate on one nostril at a time or doing the same sort of circuit. So it takes a little while to get that smoothness between moving between the left nostril and right nostril. So just do your best. It gets easier with practice. Keep the breath light. So finishing the round that you're on and doing one more round. So once you've finished that, then releasing the hand away from the nostrils so you can breathe through both nostrils. Relax the shoulders, the jaw, the hands. You need to do a little bit of movement, have a little bit of a yawn or a stretch just before we kind of settle again for meditation practice. Then please just do what you need to do. Okay, so we're going to transition from a breathing practice into a mindfulness practice, which is kind of a little bit bigger, maybe you could say, than the focus on one aspect, which is the breath. So we're making that transition to be much more aware of the body. So being aware of the body through the connection of the feet to the ground and the bottom to the chair. Just establishing your presence. And having that transition as we transition from nighttime to daytime, from dark to light. Loads of transitions during our day, but this is quite an important one, from light to day, dark to light. We move from breath to body just for the moment. So the focus on the weight of the feet on the ground, the weight of the bottom on the chair, and wherever the hands are resting, also just let that feel the weight and the connection between the hands and the body. So the shoulders can relax down. And as we did at the beginning, and just get that sense of the rootedness of the bottom on the chair or ground, and the sensation of the spine growing from the seat. Going from the lower back, the mid back, the upper back, through the neck and into the skull, and having a sense of the space above the head just for a moment. That connection with space and sky, as we have a sense of connection through the bottom and the legs and the feet to the ground and the earth. So we're not one or the other. We're both. We're connected to both. The inside, the outside, the earth and the sky. Space in front and behind. And having a sense of the clothes on the body. So we get a greater sense of the body now. Hopefully the warmth that the clothing gives you. So being more aware of the whole body, sitting on the chair for a moment. Or sitting on the ground. And then being aware of the whole breathing body. So wherever you notice the breath, just take your attention to that, as well as having a focus on the whole body sitting. Do both. And can we now have a focus not just on where we find the breath, but on discovering the breath in larger and larger areas of the body. So the breath, not just in the belly, but in the side body and the lower back. Not just in the belly, but in the area around the ribs, side ribs, front ribs, back ribs. And a sense of the breath higher up near the heart space in the chest and at the back of the body. So that sense of breath in the whole of the torso, filling that space, breathing in and breathing out, expanding and contracting. And then get the sense, imagined or otherwise, of the breath filling the whole body. So we fill and we empty. We take in and we give out. And from here, we use our visual imagination to remind ourselves where we are in the season. As we breathe and as we sit, we can bring to mind the outdoors, the trees, the colours, seasonal smells. And we can start to take a journey within that space, within the season. And as we've done in previous weeks, using the space of the outdoors, the woods, the trees, and the colour context, if you like, that surrounds us as we enter that world. As we kind of walk almost through a living painting, through changing light, through changing colours. When is yellow, yellow? When is green, green? And being open to the change, to the intensity of the experience, to the moment by moment experience that we both create and know, and the awe of that changing light, that glistening light. Strong light, the gentle light, the light coming directly in at a low level. The wind in the trees, that means the actual colours change with the light as the movement of the wind catches the leaves, carrying some of them to the ground. As we walk through colour, browns, yellows, oranges, reds, we have that sense of colour all around us. As we bring that sense of openness to the heart, that smile to the face, that warmth to the world, that connection, that sense of boldness and bigger than ourselves, that deeper connection to our own experience, our own feeling, our own connection. And maybe for a moment taking in a rainbow above the woods, through a clearing. Have greater sense of colour and marvel. That brief moment as you spot the rainbow, maybe the colours intensify. Maybe you find yourself trying to look through the colours, find where the rainbow lands, and have that connection not just to the ground, but to the sky. And that sense of awe. Not knowing when it'll arrive, not knowing when it'll end. Changing its spot as you change your movement. As you rise and you fall through the landscape. And as the rainbow naturally fades, we come to a clearing with a lake and trees around the lake. So we now get an opportunity for not just seeing the real forest in front of us, but the reflection of the trees and the colours in the still waters, which almost magnifies the colours through the water, bringing a sharpness and an extra intensity and dynamic to the season. So we can take time to stop and stare, to sit maybe, to be present to the water, and the water holding the colour of the surrounding trees. And almost being that colour, those colours in ourselves. Breathing in the season, breathing in the colour. Taking in the amazing sights. The depth, the quality. As we take time to breathe. So now just taking in the awe of that space, that connection, that time, bringing that into our heart space, letting that be full, and let the breath feed that sensation, that experience, that connection throughout the whole body as we feel the whole body, breathe the whole body, and now get a sense of the ground again, the support of the chair, space above our head into the sky, space around us, being conscious of the inside and the outside, being conscious of the arrival of the day and the light. And gently, gently, gently moving the fingers, moving the toes, taking maybe a slightly deeper breath if that's what feels kind of natural to do, opening the eyes to the morning and to the day, and to holding on to maybe that experience as well in the heart space, the breath, moving the hands, moving the shoulders, and okay, still a bit of colour. Okay, folks, so that's